It's a special broadcast today. This was not anticipated or planned. Just set up the event minutes ago. And it says we are live. And let me see if I can go to the event here in question and make sure that everything is copacetic, like I do every broadcast, just to try to make sure that everything is good. Testing 1, 2. Okay, so it's looking good. I doubt we're going to have that many live viewers. This is 3 o'clock Eastern Time on these United States is the official start time. As you can see, we're coming up on 4 minutes before the hour. And the only reason I scheduled this broadcast is I had a VIP that was supposed to be meeting me here at 3 o'clock. And he's had issues. He's had things come up. And he may or may not still be coming. But in the meantime, I figured we'd hang out and I'd address any questions. And I did have a couple of comments in the last 24 hours on a couple of my videos that we can also talk about. David Williams says hello early today. Yeah, this was not a planned event. Just scheduled this like 10 minutes ago because I have a gentleman that was supposed to be meeting me here, Corey Cobb, a client. And he was supposed to be meeting me here about 3 o'clock, and he's got issues. Some things have come up, and so he's delayed, and he may or may not still be coming. So I already blocked out, excuse me, I'll drink something here. I already blocked out the time to meet with him. So I'm like, okay, I can go for a walk, but it's pretty hot and humid today. I already did my exercises today. I already did the typical work that I do in the morning hours. And I had this time set aside, and I'm like, what should I do? Oh, excuse me. That's very rude. And so I figured I'd go live and broadcast, and then if he does come, I'll be able to show him the setup here too, because everything will be running and the camera angles will all be running, so I'll be able to show him, you know, what we do here with the live broadcast. So I figured it wouldn't be a bad idea to just cut on the lights and get this system running and see what happens. And like I say, I don't anticipate a bunch of people coming in today. So David, what are you up to today? What's going on? And what do you have on your wrist right now? What are you wearing? Let me know in the chat. And meanwhile, I'm going to refresh this chat, make sure that everything is copacetic. At least we've got one member of the wrench gang in here. We've got, according to this count, we've got 7 people coming in so far. And Chi-Town's in, a nice teal polo. Yeah, this is an oldie but a goodie. Oldie but a goodie. And the color's pretty accurate. I'm looking at it in person versus on the monitor. That's pretty accurate. Pretty close. It's a little bit more green than it's showing in the monitor, just a touch. But it's a little bit faded, a little bit sun faded. Of course, it's been laundered a number of times. Not a huge amount of times because I have a lot of shirts in rotation. And these days, when I'm sweating and things like that, I typically don't wear these polo shirts, these all cotton polo shirts. I'm typically wearing the shirts that are engineered to dry quickly, right? So I don't tend to wear these that much when I'm sweating a lot. Back in the day, we did. This is all we wore. But not these days. Omega Planet Ocean. Okay, cool. Cool. Now, how thick is your particular Planet Ocean? Because that's the only rub that I have with some of the Omegas is they've gotten kind of thick lately, and so that's a thing. I'm really headed towards thinner watches these days because I would really like to ultimately end up with a one-watch solution. And as we know, I don't have a one-watch solution right now because I've got that watch to wear for dress purposes because it's nice and thin, 12 mils thin, and 39 mil watch. And so that's a good size for dress purposes and a good all-arounder. I mean, that could be an all-arounder, except for me, with my older eyes, those pointy hands are not as anywhere near as legible as these huge hands on this. I mean, you can probably read them from that distance, right? I mean, it's insane how readable this watch is. Legible. So there's all those kinds of issues to deal with. Craig, what company makes your favorite chinos? Oh my gosh, Bill's Khakis. Bill's Khakis, man. If you treat yourself to anything, treat yourself to some Bill's Khakis. And you can usually get a deal on them on eBay. You can get some in mint condition, usually anywhere from the $20 to $30 range max. You should be able to get a pair of Bill's Khakis in mint condition on eBay. If you buy them new, you're probably going to pay $100 and up. But Bill's, they're made in the United States. I have videos on them here on my channel. I have photos of them. Let me see if I can pull up a photo here. That's all I wear. And that's what I wear 99% of the time when I'm wearing like a shirt with the sleeves rolled up, like an Oxford button down or something with the sleeves rolled up, or I'm wearing like a sport coat or something. I mean, I'm generally wearing Bill's Khakis. So we'll pull up a photo here in a jiffy for you. And they're just very well made. They're made like the way they used to be made in the old days. They're made the right way. So there's a pair with a belt that I bought from down under, from Australia. Crocodile, I believe that is. So check it out. And there are more photos on my Flickr photo stream of Bill's Khakis. Highly recommend them. Okay. Let's see. Paul from Seattle joining live, wearing my 50 Fathoms. Oh boy. Wow. Okay. There we go. How thick are the 50 Fathoms watches? How thick are they? We're talking watch thickness today a little bit. Performance fabrics have come a hell of a long way, G-Town. Yeah, and in some ways they're pretty awesome. In some ways, not so much. Some of them, if you're out in the hot sun, you know, they get kind of hot. The actual fabric itself, because it's plastic or whatever you want to call it, right? I mean, it'll kind of get hot, whereas the cotton feels cooler on your skin sometimes. Sometimes they're not all that, but yeah, I mean, sometimes it's a big advantage. Let's see here. Doing work, admin, tutoring session in 90 minutes. There we go. All right. Nice, Omega David. I want maybe in 39.5 mil. Yeah, 39.5 mil. That's a great size. 14.5 mils for me. Okay, so that's about what this is. I think this is 14.1. So this is a little bit thinner. And that is about like the limit for me. I mean, I wouldn't want anything any thicker. This, I get the benefit of the titanium. So even though this is a little bit bulkier and thicker watch, it wears more like a lighter, smaller watch just because of the titanium. So I would prefer, though, to tell you the truth, I would prefer that this were like 42 mils and maybe 12 mils thick. I mean, that'd be great, right? Like that, like the way the Yachtmaster, 11.7 mils thick. Are you kidding me? I mean, that's fantastic for a sport watch like that can take a beating. And 100 meters water resistance is fine. It's fine for me. That would work great. So yeah, the only reason I wouldn't get rid of all my other watches and get one of those right now is I don't want to give up the accuracy of this puppy right now. I mean, I'm spoiled to death with the accuracy of this. And I mean, I have to say, it's just super legible. I mean, the bigger size, the 44 mil on a diver like this does make that very, very readable, because remember, you're giving up a lot with this rotating bezel. Your dial is smaller, right? So when you go up to a bigger watch like this actually has about the same size dial on it, the readable portion of the dial, as a Snowflake, believe it or not. It's about the same. I measured them. And because the difference is, the reason this one had to bump up to 44 mil is, you've got all that rotating bezel to use up some of that space. So these are things that a lot of people don't think about, and I don't hear a lot of discussion about some of these details. And details matter. Hey, Craig, which watch do you like more, the SBGA 375 or the Snowflake? SBGA 375 is steel and 40 millimeter. I can't pick between them. SBGA 375. Let's pull it up. And this stream really is about you guys' questions and so on, because I don't have a topic or anything. This was just a thing that we're doing here. Is this one for $2,000 used? That can't be that model. No, that's SBG V207, so it came up on the search, but that's not it. Okay. Here we go. I'm going to go to the actual Grand Seiko website and pull it up here so we can take a look. And I hate these pictures they put on. I mean, this is the Grand Seiko website. That's not even a real picture of the watch. It's like a drawing or something. I don't know what the hell it is, you know. And so that's not going to tell us anything. Let me look at the size of this thing. 12.5, so it's the same thickness roughly as a Snowflake. Yeah. I'll tell you what, you're not going to gain really that much legibility just because it has a black dial. I don't think it's going to be that much more legible. I would probably go with the Snowflake personally. Probably be the way I would go, because I love that titanium on the Snowflake. Just so comfortable on wrist. That thing was just super comfortable. And see, you're not going to pick up micro adjustments or anything on this watch. You know, you're not going to get that either. So I would just go with the Snowflake between those two. That's what I would do. Let's see. I have a 7.25-inch beefy wrist, but yes, it's a beast of a watch, but rides much smoother than my 50th anniversary Sea Dweller 43. Yeah, I would sell the 50th anniversary Sea Dweller. Yeah, I would sell that puppy personally. That's just too bulky and too cumbersome a watch, in my opinion. And of course, I buy my watches to wear, so that's the point. That's the angle that I'm coming at this with. So let's see. One of the best values for the money, quality dive watches. Okay. GS2, yes, though. Craig's watch is too large for my wrist, David saying. I'm wearing my Yachty today. And so that's the Yachtmaster with the blue dial, correct? Let us know in the chat so we can all be jealous. Can you please show the clasp of this watch? Thank you. The clasp of this watch. This one? The diver? Yeah, I mean, there's the clasp. The way this clasp works, I'm just going to demonstrate it. One thing that's really cool about this clasp, which is the same as the Marine Master, right? If I pull this up, and I just pull it up a little bit, right? You notice this extended here, just a hair. All right, it's kind of hard to see because of the lighting or lack thereof. But anyway, this extended a little bit right there, and I'll extend a little more so it'll really see. You can really see it extending there. And now if I close this back down, you can see the watch is real loose now, right? But I can take and I can just push this in one click at a time. It's a one-way ratchet like, right? I can push it in very easily, but it won't come out the other way. And so I can get it exactly to where I want. So if it's real hot and humid out, I might extend it, you know, a fair amount, right? But then I get inside the air conditioning, I just can gradually just push it in one click at a time. And then in addition to that, it has about 4 micro adjustments right here, like the old, you know, Rolexes and everything used to have back in the day. So it's got like 4 micro adjustments there. Other than that, it's just 2 releases here to take it off wrist. So it's very quick and easy to use. I'm all about usability and functionality of my daily wear watch. And so this really nails it as far as all that goes, in my opinion. And I've had this more than a year now, over a year. Let's see. Um, yeah, for GS, for smaller wrists, it's hard to beat that GMT right there. That 39 mil GMT. It's hard to beat that watch. I should move that so the crown is in the shot. I should move it over a little more. There we go. A little bit crooked, but oh well, that is what it is. But yeah, it's really hard to beat that watch from a all around. And again, if I wasn't so spoiled by the legibility of this watch, I would probably just wear that one as an all-arounder. I would probably just wear that watch as an all-arounder. I got to tilt it the other way. Give me a second here. That helped a little bit. Okay, so anyway, I mean, the pointy hands are great if your eyes are still pretty good, right? This watch, I'm nitpicking here now. This watch is very readable, and the only reason that I still have this watch is the hands are just massive on it. And yet they come to a point, they've got the real sharp point at the end so that you can tell exactly which minute it's pointing to. So you get your cake and eat it too. You get the nice big bulky hand to read at a quick glance to roughly get the time. And then if you want to see exactly what minute it's pointing to, it's got the little pointy part, right? So, and people have like chastise this watch for they don't like the hands on it. They are fantastic. I love the hands on this watch. I've just totally fallen in love with the legibility of this watch in any lighting condition, whether I have my reading glasses on or not. I mean, I can quickly at a glance read that watch. So it's really, I've really gotten spoiled by that. And it's just gorgeous. It's just absolutely gorgeous to look at the watch. So there's that. Let's see here. Craig, the Middo Ocean Star is a diver that's 42 mil wide and 11.8 thick. Yeah, I've heard about that watch. Yeah, pretty amazing. David, I have a 6.7 inch wrist. Do you recommend the PO 39.5? Carlos says, Snowflake is very nice. I hope someday they will be able to make it not that thick. Yeah, see, it's 12.5 mils thick, roughly, I think. It works pretty good. It'll go under most dress shirt cuffs. I had one, and it will work as a dress watch. That's about the thickest I would get for an all-arounder. I'd like it to be, this one's 12 mils. I like that better, right, than, of course, 12.5. But it's close to where it needs to be. But I agree. It would be much nicer if it was 12 mils thick, the Snowflake. But see, I think it's that spring drive. I think they're... Of course, they have made some spring drive watches that are thinner. They have done it. So I think they could do it. I think they should do it. And, of course, I've said that many times. So there you go. My friends say I should get a Rolex over a GS for one reason. Blondes know what a Rolex is. LOL. That might be a good reason. That might be a good reason. Absolutely. How can I argue with that? I would be a hypocrite because back in the day, I used to use my watches for leverage in that regard. And I used to use limousines and boats and all kinds of things for leverage. So, and of course, nice clothes. It doesn't hurt to be well dressed. And that's the other thing, folks. I mean, some of these guys, spend all this money on a collection of watches, and they don't have any decent shoes, they don't have any decent sport coats, they don't have any decent even shirts or Bill's khakis that we were talking about. They don't have the other things to go along with the watch. You need the whole package. You're not going to impress that blonde, trust me, with just the watch. You're going to need a little more going for you than that, I think. Back in the day when I was on the hunt like that, I needed every advantage I could get. I didn't exactly look like Cary Grant, right? So I needed every edge I could get. So yeah, we had the proper clothing, the proper vehicle, the proper everything. Nice place, a nice abode to take them to. You needed all those things. Let's see here. We go down a rabbit hole on all that. My Rolex Oyster Perpetual 36 mil 116000 blue dial 369 dial 11.9. Yeah, those are fantastic. Absolutely, those are fantastic. We talked about the Oyster Perpetual as a daily wear watch, and of course the Datejust, same thing. It's a little bit thicker, but yeah, they're both just fantastic all around watches. It's the Platinum dial, 40 mil. Okay, cool. Yeah, fantastic. The SBGN 005 is a highly underrated watch, performed like a champion during travel abroad. I guess it did. Absolutely. That can take a lot of punishment. That 9F movement is extremely robust. The blue dial 369 Oyster Perpetual is very nice, and size is great. Absolutely. I think the Citizen AQ10-4053E is way better than your GMT. No way. No. Citizen does not make a movement as good as the 9F. The 9F is in a league of its own. It's just amazing. You should really research the 9F movement. It is just incredible. Nobody can touch it. Nobody can touch it for a whole lot of reasons. Okay, so what else do we got going on here? Regarding the Snowflake, I was wrong then. I had a feeling that it was thicker when I tried it on, but I just checked, and you're right, 12.5. Yeah, it's 12.5, 12.6. Most people say it's in that range. But Carlos, you're right. It doesn't feel thin on the wrist. It feels doable. I mean, when I put this watch on, it feels kind of thin on the wrist. It's very trim to the wrist, and you definitely know that you can wear that under even a relatively tight shirt cuff, right, with no real issues. The Snowflake was okay. I think it's okay. I think I can wear it underneath the shirt cuff, but it wasn't I'm sure. It was like on the edge there. If it was any thicker, I'll put it this way, it would be a no-go. It's right there on the borderline, in my opinion. I'd much rather have 12 mils thick. But Craig, don't you know that fraying dress shirts, sandals, and ripped shorts is Daytona chic? Well, here's the thing, Cheetown. If it's high-end stuff, absolutely. If you're wearing like a Gitman Brothers shirt and it's frayed like around the collar a little bit or around the cuffs a little bit, and you're wearing like some Bill's khakis and they're a little bit frayed around the pocket and stuff like that, absolutely. That's fantastic. There's no problem with that, because, it shows that you know what you're doing and that you get all the use out of your high-end clothing. I have no qualms with that at all. But it's got to be high-end stuff. So that's the deal on all that. I stopped by, this was many, many years ago. We were driving through Green Spring Valley outside of Baltimore. And this is where a lot of those houses have like 20-acre front lawns, and we drove by this house, and the girls practicing polo, in the front yard. Okay. This type of place. And my buddy and I were just driving around, and we saw this amazing place, right? And we just turned in the driveway and just drove up the driveway. It's like half a mile long, winding around, nice tree-lined driveway. And we pull up this beautiful place, right? And the guy, oh, hold on, this is my VIP. Hold on one second. Hello, Craig Ship. Hey, good. Yep. Yeah, yeah, no, we can bump it. You want to try to go for the same timing on Monday? Because that works best for me because I've kind of gotten all the fires put out and, I'm kind of can get things done. Okay. Uh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, see, I'm just thinking if we do it together, then we can really get it right. And then the other benefit is you'll be able to see the workflow so that if you guys do start to want to do some of this stuff in-house, which I think would be a good move, you'll have a first-hand view of the workflow that I use. So, yep. All right. Yeah, well, you guys just have a wealth of content there, and I mean, it's just, it really, it's a treasure trove, and I would be tapping into it if I were you guys. So, I think we'll figure all that out. But yeah, we'll bump it to Monday, and then we'll play it by ear. We'll touch base earlier on Monday, and then we'll see if we can make it happen. Have a great weekend, Corey. Yep. Bye. Okay, so anyway, so I was telling the story. We pulled in this driveway, we go up a beautiful place, right? And there's the obviously the owner of the house, he was well dressed. He was wearing like a Brooks Brothers button down shirt, uh, shirt sleeves untucked. This was back when you didn't have untucked shirt sleeves, right? Shirt tails, right? But he was doing some gardening and stuff, right? And it was an older Brooks Brothers shirt, and it had the frayed collar and stuff like that, and he was wearing like some older chinos, right? And I think he even had Gucci's on, right? And he's fumbling around playing with some stuff in the garden, I think watering something or whatever. And we pulled up, and he's, can I help you? Right? Oh no, we were just looking around, and your place is just gorgeous. We have to admit we just pulled up because we just wanted to see the place. And he smiled and laughed a little bit, and he said, "Well, this is a private home," and we excused ourselves, and we left. And he didn't offer to like give us a tour or anything, but it was funny. But yeah, that when you talked about the frayed stuff, that memory came back. I mean, this is going back. I was probably in my early 20s back in the day there in Green Spring Valley, right outside of Baltimore. A lot of affluent people there. Let's see here. Let's see. Nevada Chic also. Uh, General question, Ari Chat Rolex. For only one, to buy Explorer 1 214270 Mark II or Alex's 11600 or similar Explorer. Well, I mean the Explorer to buy is not the one with the short hands, right? Don't they have the one with the short hands? You buy the other one. Uh, so I guess that's what you're asking. Just buy the other Explorer, yeah, the correct one. Let's see. And I don't think it's called the Explorer 1, right? Isn't it just called the Explorer? There's an Explorer and then there's an Explorer 2, I think. Anyway, you know what I'm saying. Do you think Rolex are losing customers with what they are doing? I personally just bought a GS SBGE 249 after waiting forever on a Rolex. It's very possible they're losing some customers, but I think they're also gaining customers. So I don't know which side of that equation is outweighing the other, because I think there are people that are buying Rolexes, and more than one, because they're speculating, because they think they're going to go up in value, that they're a good investment, and so on and so forth. So they're justifying buying, 3, 4, 5, of these watches, whereas maybe they would have just bought one before, right? So I think the fervor might actually be netting them more sales. I think that's very possible, as opposed to the few that they're losing that are going and buying something else. My guess is it's a net gainer for them, this fervor that's going on. Let's see here. Thoughts on the Seiko Presage spring drive? Is it a bad move by Seiko to not keep it exclusive to GS? They've been doing this for a little while. They've been putting the spring drive in a few other models. I think it's okay. I don't think it's a downside. Again, I would like to see them start coming out with some thinner watches for the spring drive models. They do have some of those manual wind spring drive models that are really trim. They're like 10 mils thick. I think they need to just go that direction. And if they do that with some Seikos and some Grand Seikos both, I mean, fine. I think it's a cool movement, and I think it's anything they can put it in makes sense. I think their two best movements are the spring drive and the 9F. Those are the two movements. I think they're both stellar. Let's see here. I love Explorer 1. If I had all the money in the world, I would have to choose one watch as my only watch forever. It would be the Explorer 39. There you go. Craig, how are the mosquitoes in Maryland during the summer? Where I am, not very bad. I'm up here in the mountains, and there's not that much standing water, or there's really no real issue here. There are areas where they're worse off, but generally speaking, they're not that bad where I am. So it varies. But yeah, it's a non-issue here. It's not like I go out and I like spray off on me or anything like that. And I walk in the evenings. I walk all different times, and it's just not. It's not been an issue where I am. Okay. Seiko put the spring drive in the Prospect LX and some tunas. There you go. All right. Well, I think we are going to wrap this pretty quickly because we now have confirmation that Corey is not coming. So I can figure out something else to do. But hey, put your questions in the chat. This is your chance. This is the Ask Me Anything opportunity. Put it in the chat, and we will talk about it. And let me see if I can pull up, since we talked about the Bills khakis earlier, let me see if I can pull up another picture, see if I have another picture in here. Wow, 146. The heck? Oh, there, I searched Bill, and this was like anybody that's tagged with Bill. Oh, this is always a great photo. Here's Audrey with a couple of my Billingham camera bags. It's her birthday today, by the way. Happy birthday to the beautiful Audrey Scherer. Audrey Scherer, happy birthday to her. There she is carrying a couple of my camera bags, and that's her Canon 5D Mark II that she's got in her hand. And that, actually, I stand corrected. One of those bags is mine, and one of those is the bag I gave her. I gave her a Banana Republic. They're made by Billingham back in the early 80s. Banana Republic sold under their name, some Billingham camera bags, and that one in her left hand, that's one in mint condition that I bought off eBay that had hardly ever even been used, and I got it for her and gave it to her. And so that the one in her left hand is hers. I've got like 4 or 5 of those bags myself. So there you go. All right, what else do we got going on here? Wish Audrey a happy birthday from us. Absolutely. Just picked up my new yellow gold emerald green dial Daytona. So stunning in person. Wow. All gold? An all gold Daytona. Wow. And they're not super thick either. That's the good thing about a Daytona. They're not that thick. And they got a great case on them. To me, it's the dial is a little bit busy for my old eyes, but you probably got younger, better eyes, so for you it's probably okay. Opinion of Voigtlander lenses. I've got the 40 millimeter f1.4 that I really like, and then I've got a is it a 70 millimeter f2.5 that's a fantastic portrait lens. I've got reviews on my channel here. Just search my channel for Voigtlander, or however you're supposed to pronounce it. I've got reviews. I did not like the ultra wide. I sold it. I had like a 25 mil or something or whatever wider angle lens. It was terrible. I got rid of that. But the 40 mil f1.4, I really like that one. And the I think it's a 70 mil f2.5 that you can find fairly reasonably. That turned out to be a really good portrait lens. I don't use it that much anymore because I've got the 85 millimeter G Master. But I'm really pleased with both of those lenses. And there's reviews here on the channel of both of them. So check it out. Craig, would you buy a Panda Steel Daytona for retail if you could flip it the next day? Well, sure, why not? If I could pretty much guarantee making money, why not? What the heck? I don't see any problem with that. Hugo from Portland. Selling cars with my Rolex Daytona ceramic. There you go. Absolutely. But here's the thing. If you really do want to impress other people with your watch, and back in the day I wanted to do that. That's one of the reasons why I wore a Rolex. I wanted them to think I was successful. I wanted them to want to do business with me. I was selling high-end cars and stuff. I wanted to dress walk the walk and talk the talk, right? And so I wore a 18 karat gold Date 8, okay? That's the watch to wear. Not a Daytona, not a Batman, not a Pepsi, not any of these steel wonders, right? They're not going to impress anybody. What's going to impress somebody is a Date 8 in 18 karat yellow freaking gold. That's going to impress pretty much everybody. Even people that don't have a clue what it is, they're going to know that is a big hunk of gold on your wrist, and it looks fantastic. But if you're dressed nice as well, you have to be dressed nice also, but it looks fantastic. There's a reason why a lot of affluent people wear that watch. It works. It gets the job done. So don't listen to any of these people that are trying to tell you that steel is a precious metal. It's not. It's ordinary. There's nothing precious about it. And there's nothing precious. I don't care how much money you pay for a steel watch. It's still a steel watch, and there's nothing special about it. You can pay $100,000 for it. It's still steel. I hate to break the news to you, but that's how that works. So yeah, all gold. So that's going to be a stunner. I mean, absolutely a stunner, and all gold. Let's see here. Yeah, I figured that's what it was. But I just always like to ask to make sure. She down that no, play it forward to someone who will wear and love it. Well, Well, if you buy the watch and you flip it and sell it to somebody, then the idea is maybe they would wear it, right? But yeah, I don't begrudge any of these people that are flipping watches and making a bunch of money on it. I mean, if somebody's stupid enough to pay significantly over retail for one of these steel watches, then you might as well profit from their stupidity. Yeah, that's money flows from the stupid to the less stupid. That's how money flows. It's been that way for thousands of years. Money goes from those that are not so smart to those that are smarter. That's how that all works. Clive is in the house. See, he's a smart guy. See, the money's flowing to him from people that are not quite so smart. That's a perfect example, the Clivester. Let's see here. Do you ever fall into the audiophile hobby? Not from a standpoint of like high-end stereo systems or stuff like that. No, I never really got into that. Thank goodness. That would have been another rabbit hole to go down. But from a standpoint of high-end microphones and audio recording equipment and things like that, I've gone down that rabbit hole a little bit. But just because I wanted to have the gear to, to do halfway decent production work. So there you go. Wireless mics, all that kind of thing. Lavalier mics, all that kind of stuff. Let's see here. Daytona size and fit is great. You have the same feeling as an Explorer 39. There you go. Yep. And also, I might add, I'm sure it's very similar to the Yachtmaster. I think the Yachtmaster case is very similar to a Daytona, if not the same. I've just picked up a new yellow, gold, emerald green dial Daytona. Okay, there you go. We're just letting Clivester know. Yeah, this is where the heavy hitters with the all gold watches hang out, Clive. So you better get an all gold Rolex if you're going to start hanging out here. And of course, there's my old 18238, the stunner that had heavy use for 19 years. And people say, well, gold doesn't hold up and so on and so forth. It's like butter and all this crap, right? There it is. That was after about 19 years of use. I took that photo. It had never been polished, never been serviced, never been nothing, right? It looks pretty good to me. So I don't know. Currently wearing a BLNR, gonna rock it till the wheels fall off. Well, there you go. Well, here's the thing about a GMT is they are thinner than a sub, and definitely a better all-arounder than a sub, I think. Way to encourage the super chats, Craig. Is that sarcasm? I don't think we've ever encouraged any super chats on this channel. I've gotten a couple, but we never encourage them. I would rather people invest their money. Let's see here. Spring drive or high beat. I like the spring drive, personally. I think that's the reason to buy a Grand Seiko, or one of the main reasons to buy a Grand Seiko is the spring drive. It's freaking amazing. Let's see. Only yellow gold. What about a Day-Date 40 and Everrose? I would pass on the Everrose. I would get the yellow gold, period, full stop, always. I just picked up the 60th anniversary with the olive green dial last month. At least my Daytona is yellow gold. There you go. Okay. Yeah, the reason I like yellow gold, they both look great, but the reason I like yellow gold is it's going to match generally anything you buy in yellow gold. You buy cufflinks, you buy a pen that's yellow gold, yellow gold is easier to match with other gold items, I think. And I just think it looks better. I just like the classic look of yellow gold, personally. That's me. Either one are stunning. I mean, there's no getting around that. I sold my Daytona to one of the trusted sellers in the trunk of a Mercedes. Okay. Let's see. Clive says, nice Daytona Dream Machine. There you go. The date just 41 is less than 12 mils thick, I believe. It might be. You might be right. Somebody told me they were 11.7 mils thick also. So I don't know. But yeah, it's a nice thickness. But to me, the date just 41 seems a little bit big. I don't know. I can't wrap my head around that one too much. Let's see, also have yellow gold, a blue dial Submariner. I think that packs more punch than my day date. I love yellow gold on Oyster. Yeah, but the day date is a lot more versatile as far as, wearing it with a suit and things like that. Between the two, I would definitely always go with the day date, personally. Date just 41 with a white gold bezel and blue Romans. Wow, okay. What about what about an all gold sub? We just talked about that. First of all, I wouldn't buy anything with the super case, so that would let out a lot of gold subs. You'd have to go pre-ceramic, right? Hopefully they'll fix that next year, and they'll fix that case and won't have that bulbous looking. I would not buy that watch. Let's see here. What else we got here? I love my all gold sub with the blue dial. Okay. Craig, just saw your GS review earlier this year. I liked your insights comparing the yellow gold GS Snowflake SBGY 003 to the Calatrava. Great insight, and I have to agree with you 100%. Okay, yeah, and I saw your comment before. Yeah, thank you. Is Leica overpriced in your opinion when there is Sony in the market? Okay, so here's the thing. The reason I went with Sony, I was a Nikon shooter, and I was getting more and more into video, and Sony was more moving towards video, and especially when they came out with the A7S. And then I waited and got the A7S Mark II because, I wanted that in-body image stabilization and some things that I wanted. But since I shoot a lot of video, Sony, in my opinion, is the way to go. This right now, that camera right there is my Sony. Now, if I was shooting only stills, then the Leica would be fantastic. I think they're cool, but not for video. And so now with the G Master lenses that you can get for Sony, like my 85mm G Master lens, I'll get that and I'll show it to you. With a lens like this, I mean, there's nothing that Leica can do to trump this. I mean, this lens is fantastic. This is an 85mm f1.4, and of course on the A7S Mark II, which shoots epic in low light anyway, you couple that with this lens, you can take some amazing portraits in any lighting conditions. I'll pull one up here that I shot almost in the freaking dark the other day. Let me see if I can find it on my Flickr here. I'm going to say 85mm and see if it comes up. Yeah, here it is. I mean, this shot here, I shot the other day in a bar, and it was dark. I mean, it was pretty much dark. I mean, I couldn't really even see her hardly, right? It was that dark, all right? And I shot that with the 85mm G Master, and look at the bokeh in the background. Look at those perfectly round bokeh balls in the background. I mean, if that's not freaking epic, I don't know what is. And that was just a snapshot, folks. That was just a quick little photo in the bar there. I just asked her to hold up the glass and give a little smile, and bam. And that's what you get. So, let me see what ISO that was at. And that was at f1.4. And that was only ISO 2500. So that wasn't even super high ISO. But at f1.4, of course, you're going to let in a lot of light anyway. So it was ISO 2500. I'll let you see the EXIF data here. ISO 2500 at f1.4, 1/125th of a second. So there you go. And I can bump that ISO up easily up to 10,000 without getting any noise in the picture at all, and sometimes even higher than that. So it's just a killer combination. LBJ wore yellow gold date 8. Yep, sure he did. I compared the SBGW 235 to the Calatrava. There you go. Well, it's like comparing a Lexus to a Ferrari. I mean, right? If you buy the Calatrava, but know that you're probably going to spend some money on servicing and have some issues and things like that, buy the Lexus if you want something that's just going to be trouble-free. Same thing. Buy the GS, and you pretty much have trouble-free service. Couldn't agree any more on your money flow analysis. I paid retail for my stainless steel ceramic Daytonas, but I chose to keep them. But I would have no problem selling them if I so choose. Yes, as long as the market is hot, you're correct. But if and when the market corrects, it's a good thing you like the watches, because you might not be able to sell them. So don't think that this hot, overheated market is going to go on forever. Personally, if I had steel Rolexes right now, I'd probably sell them and cash out, and then sit on the money and wait for the market to crash and then buy them back. That's probably what I would do. I sell at the top of the market. That's what I usually try to do. What do you guys, it's about wearing bronze cased watches, daily beater, would they hold up? Yeah, I wouldn't buy a bronze watch. I don't even, my bronze razor, I have a bronze one and a stainless steel one from Timeless Razors, and I much prefer the stainless steel one. I don't like that, whatever they call it, the patina or whatever that they get. Forget that. That's a great date 8, Craig. Do you miss it? I wasn't wearing it that much towards the end there. Towards the last year or so that I had it, after I bought this watch, I wasn't really wearing it that much because it just wasn't that legible for me. It's because of my eyes. If I was 20 years younger and my eyes were still okay and all that, I'd still have the watch on my wrist. I would still be wearing it. But it got to the point where I'd be looking at the watch and I'd be like doing this, and now if I was out in daylight, I could still read it okay, right? But when it was lower light, like if I was at a bar or somewhere where there's not that much light, I'd be like, doing this kind of thing, and it just got irritating to me. And that's why I sold it. Trust me, I bought the watch new. I had it for years. I didn't sell it just to sell it, right? I sold it for a reason. I just wasn't wearing it that much. It got to the point where it was like, why keep it? So that's the deal on that. Evening from the UK, gentlemen, I agree, Craig. The 41 Datejust wears massive. 36 Datejust is the best size for most. I agree. I like the 36. I think the 36 is a great size. I don't, here I am wearing a big watch right now, but I typically don't go for the oversized watch situation in general. As a sport watch or something like this, that's a different thing. But as something you're going to wear all the time, or wear as a dress watch or something like that, no, I think it looks silly to have a huge watch on and be wearing a suit. Let's see here. I'm going to read a few more of these, and then we're going to wrap this up. Now that there are new A6000 series Sony cameras, which one is your top pick, Craig? There's an A6600 does have some advantages over the A6500, but I'd have to look at all of the specs. I think it's got the bigger battery in it, which is good, which is a big plus. So I would probably buy the A6600, but I've got the A6500 right here, and I'm going to keep that for now. I'm hoping that they come out with a Pro Series APS-C, like an A7000 or something like that. That's more of a pro camera that does 60 frames a second, 4K, and has some other upgrades. So I'm going to wait, hoping that they come out with a pro version of that camera before I upgrade. And there's also rumors they're going to come out with an update for this, the A7S Mark III, or whatever they're going to call it, that will have the bigger battery and have some other upgrades, including 60 frames per second, 4K. So when that comes out, I'll be all over that. Because this camera is like 3 or 4 years old now. I mean, it's been out, they've been out for a while. So they're due, that's due for an upgrade. And I will jump all over that. Let's see here. Blue Shirt Buddha's in the house, coming in towards the end of the conversation here. And Carlos still rocking the Date 840. Yes, wear it most of the time. Yeah, his Date 840 is stunning. Again, I would usually buy the yellow gold, but I understand his reasons for buying the white gold, and it is a stunner. Craig, SBGM023 with the bracelet and strap near me for $3,800. Let's pull it up. SBGM023. Oh, so that's the older, yeah. That's the one with Grand Seiko on the, yeah, that's right. Let's see, Govberg Watches has one here. Let's see what they say. Oh, it's out of stock. Oh. It's kind of a, let's see here. Make sure I got the right model again. SBGM OT, yeah, that's the model. It's kind of cool looking. I'll grant it that. It's a GMT. It's automatic. It's kind of cool looking. I mean, a deal or no deal, $3,800. I don't think that's a steal, Clive. Personally, because it's the old dial, the pre-2017 dial, I'm not enamored with that situation there. But I mean, I haven't followed that model that much, but I wouldn't call that a steal. I think if you can offer them $3,000 in cash and it's in great shape, I think there you're coming out okay. They're hard to sell. We know that. We know Grand Seikos are not that easy to sell. So if you're buying, buy it right, I say. Let's see here. Blue Shirt Buddha is congratulating Carlos. Yeah, wear the watch. Absolutely wear that Date 8. Life is too short. Take it from me. It goes like that. All you youngsters, you don't realize how quick time flies. Wear these watches. Enjoy them. And consolidate. If you've got 6 or 8 steel watches, sell 5 of them and buy a really nice gold Rolex and have a steel Rolex and a gold Rolex. That's a great rotation right there. And then just go out and have fun with it. Let's see. Just been browsing a 2000 Rolex catalog. The 118238 was $10,900 today. They're just about the same price. Pre-owned full set. Okay. Which goes to show you they're not a good investment, because if obviously you would have invested that money, it would be worth a lot more in that time frame. Remember, your money should double every 7 years. That should be your rule of thumb. It should double. So if you start out with $10,000, 7 years later, you should have $20,000. 7 years after that, you should have $40,000. That's how that works. That's how doubling works, folks. It's called the miracle of compound interest. Just proving watches are not an investment. 11K should now be worth 40K. There you go, Steve. Just said what I just said. Cheetown, I previously sent you a pic of a Datejust 41 on my 6.7-inch wrist, and we agreed it was too big. There you go. I'm 30 and putting 15% of my income in the S&P. If you were me, would you buy some Bitcoin and hold it? I am holding Bitcoin. Yeah, I'm holding Bitcoin. Absolutely. I don't give financial advice on this channel, but I am holding it. I'm holding a decent amount of Bitcoin, I'll put it that way. And I'll be holding it until at least 2028. I'm not going to sell anymore. I've sold a substantial amount, and I'm playing with the house's money right now, which is makes my situation a little bit different. But yeah, I'm holding. Yes. Let's see. Lego or Legos? Okay. The shape of the case of the GS is that GS is very nice. Okay. Yeah, the one that Clive was talking about, that one. Yeah, that is a nice looking case. I'll give it that. Absolutely, that's nice looking. Wonder if it has a screw down crown. Probably does. Okay, I would confirm that. I probably wouldn't buy it if it does not have a screw down crown. I'm just funny about that. Now, if I have an all-gold dress watch, especially a manual wind watch, then I wouldn't want the screw-down crown because you don't want to unscrew it every time you have to wind it, right? But for an everyday use automatic watch, I do want the screw-down crown. All right, let me bang through this and then we're going to be done. RJ Lane is in the house. Stand back and look at yourself in a full-length mirror when judging the size of a watch, 36 mil or 40 mil. Looking down at your wrist is okay, but 36 mil from a distance looks better than you think. Well, 36 mil always looked great. I mean, it's just here in recent years that all of a sudden everybody has to have a huge watch on their wrist. And I think it looks out of proportion, especially when you're wearing long shirt, long sleeves, in a more dressed situation. When you're wearing a polo shirt and jeans or chinos or shorts or something like that, I think a nice good sized sport watch like a sub or even something as big as this, I think it's okay. And of course, with my old eyes, that's why I like this, because I can read it, right? But in all other circumstances, I think an oversized watch looks kind of goofy. You see these guys, especially these Grand Seiko executives, right, that are dressed in a nice suit and all, and they've got small wrists because they're Japanese, right? They got small wrists, and they're wearing this huge watch that can't fit underneath their shirt cuff, and it's down over the bone, this bone here. It's over the bone, and it's huge, and they look uncomfortable just wearing the thing. So no, I don't think that's the way to go. Got to run later, fellas. Blue Shirt Buddha's taking off. I'm taking off too. Clive, I have the SBGM 221. I like that model on an alligator strap. That is a phenomenal GS. Love it. See, yeah, Paul's got the newer version with the newer dial. Guy in the forums today was freaking out because he was 4 months overdue his 3-year watch service. Oh gosh. Are you kidding me? No, this watch here is not going to get serviced. I can tell you that right now. Period. Full stop. I'm not going to have it serviced. I don't care if it's 10 years from now, 20 years from now, whatever. This ain't getting serviced. It's going in for repair if the thing stops, right? If 10 years from now this watch stops, then I'll send it in and they'll fix it, right? But it ain't getting serviced. I can tell you that right now. And likely it won't need it because it doesn't even have an escapement, right? Likely this will run for decades and still be running great because that's what so far, these been out for 15, 20 years now, something like that. There are a lot of guys that have the original ones that haven't done a damn thing to them and they're running great. So that's the way a spring drive is. It just runs. And that's the way Rolexes are these days. They just run. You don't have to worry about it. Don't have to worry about servicing them. Just run them. Somebody says, well, you wouldn't do that to your car, would you? Well, it's not a freaking car. I hate to break the news to you. This is not a car. All right? So Does it look like a car? Does it smoke and shake like a car? No, it ain't no car. So that's how that works. I saw on Facebook forum somebody complaining about Grand Seiko battery life, and it thought, yeah, I saw that complaint. I think 3 years is fine, Joey. I have no problem with replacing the battery every 3 years, even if let's say it lasts 2.5 years instead of 3. I mean, I have no problem with that. My guess is it'll last 3, and that's fine. Just replace the battery every 3 years. I wouldn't worry about it. And I certainly wouldn't worry about replacing the gaskets and everything when I replace the battery. I would just replace the battery and just keep on going. Keep on getting up. Bigger things to worry about. Is it natural for a high-end quartz movement to consume more power? Well, there's trade-offs, right? This one, see the second hand, how it goes all the way to the end there? Some have shorter second hands, and some of them they don't click as cleanly. They don't have the dual torque motors and all like the 9F has. So there's compromises to anything like that. And Grand Seiko made some choices of how they wanted to do it, and they figured 3. And also you can put a bigger battery in them, by the way. So they're different size batteries, right? They went with a smaller size battery so the watch didn't have to be as big. And so there's trade-offs on all that kind of stuff, right? They made their decisions, and they figured 3 years was okay, and I agree with them. And here's the thing. If you want a longer battery life, a 5-year battery life or something, buy a watch with a 5-year battery life. Don't buy the Grand Seiko if that's an issue, right? So there you go. I just think the 9F is a fantastic movement, and the 3 years is fine for me. All right, we're going to wrap this puppy up because I'm going to eat something. I'm going to actually eat a little earlier than normal because of how all this worked out today. And this was an impromptu broadcast. So, let's see. Oh, we got one more comment. Dream Machine. The other great watch I picked up last month is a stainless steel blue dial Sky Dweller. Needless to say, it's been an epic couple of months. There you go. All right. Well, we're going to wrap this up. Hey, everybody, click subscribe, click the bell. Thanks for tuning in.